Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of A Hard Day, a Korean thriller from 2014. Ko, a corrupt detective whose mother recently died, drives away in the middle of the funeral, having been informed that his squad is being investigated by internal affairs for bribery. He crashes into a homeless man by mistake, who wanders onto the road, and he kills this homeless man with his car. So fearing manslaughter charges as he was intoxicated, Ko declines to call the police and hides the body from a passing patrol car. So when the body, he basically puts the body in the trunk of his own car, and he tries to find a way to cover up this hit and run accident from his own police department, who start to investigate this accident because they see it on camera and stuff. And then on top of that, he's dealing with family drama from the funeral, so there's a lot on this dude's plate for this day, which it's going to be a hard day for him, right? Hence the title. Now, one of the best things about this film is the lead actor, Lee Sun-kyun. I'm just a huge fan of this guy. Huge. He was in Our Town, Paju, Oki's Movie, Petty Romance, All About My Wife, which is fantastic, The Advocate, and most recently, Parasite. And he's particularly great in movies where he plays a character who gets in trouble and gets in over his head. And such is the case with A Hard Day, and we learn about his character while he's going through these suspenseful situations. Not exactly the most moral protagonist you'll ever see, but at the same time, some of his decisions are rather smart and could work out well for him in the long run. You know, at the very least, he's doing a good job in this film just surviving and trying not to get caught while the situation kind of spirals out of control. So Lee Sun-kyun is perfectly cast in this film. He's great. And the supporting character, the lead supporting character, is Cho Jin-woong, who appears a little bit later on, and he's very convincing in his role. Fans of Korean cinema may recognize him from films like Assassination, Bluebeard, The Handmaiden, and The Spy Gone North. He's a fairly intimidating character in A Hard Day, which is a good thing. He sells it well. So this is a pretty cool flick. It's actually more realistic and grounded than you might expect, but it's very briskly paced and fun to watch. There's a tension that's earned very early and often. Like the car accident where our lead character kills the homeless man, that occurs during the opening 5 minutes of the film. So it gets off fast, and our protagonist is already forced to cover up the event when he drives through a DWI check, you know? And it's a good scene early on because he needs to kind of talk his way out of it, and he almost gets caught immediately, like in the first 10 minutes of the film. So this movie starts fast and it moves quite well. There's also some humor in that scene involving seniority in the police department, which I enjoyed. Now, one of the best moments of the film occurs also early on, within the opening half hour or so. It takes place in a morgue, and it's one of the best morgue sequences I've seen in recent memory. It involves a casket and a toy soldier. Those things shouldn't go together, but they do in this case. So, you wonder what this protagonist is thinking when the scene starts. You're like, what is this guy doing? But then eventually you realize what he's doing, and it's pretty cool. I really like that scene. Very blackly humorous as well. There's quite a bit of black humor in this film. There are some unexpected developments along the way, which I won't spoil. Now, the director of A Hard Day is the same man who would go on to direct the wildly popular Korean zombie television series Kingdom. So you can be certain that the direction here is quite good. Now, the biggest flaw in this film, I would say, in my opinion, is one fairly unrealistic moment that happens late in the film. You know, as I said earlier, this is a pretty realistic flick. But then one thing happens later on that it was a little outlandish for me. A little outlandish. In some sense, it does work due to the presence of black humor throughout the film, but I wish they would have resolved that conflict during a prior scene when it seemed to be resolved. I'll just leave it at that. But still, the final shot of the film is pretty fantastic. It's pretty funny, and I laughed out loud. So the final shot of the film is great. So yeah, A Hard Day is a very fun, engaging film. If you're squeamish on violence, you should be able to handle this. It's mostly a suspense film with a few slugfests along the way. So yeah, I very strongly recommend this. It's a fun thriller. A Hard Day is available streaming and on physical media. And as always, we will see you next time.